Let's play.
Hey guys, welcome back to SimCity Starter, and as you can see we have a name for the series now, so we have something to call it. Not that it matters a whole lot, but I just feel more comfortable that way. We're back in our region here in Norwich Hills, and we're going to start working on putting in some of the oil drilling that we were talking about last episode, and then we might work on some more industrial, and then we're going to see what pans out up here. I don't know if we're ready to get into remodeling this area yet, or if we might expand into this area and get some residents packed in. So again, we're making some money, because when we do want to start changing the way things look, we're going to need some cash. So let's go ahead and go into this. We're going to look at our oil map, and down here we see this is where our oil is in the ground, and we want to get that out of there. Now I don't think I have the money yet to do that. We're going to take a look down here in specialization and drilling. And what do I need? I have to have 7 industrial buildings and then 37,500, which we can probably achieve. But so we're going to have to work on some industrial anyway. But what we can do is work on laying out some of the road structure, so we have a basic idea of where we want to put some stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I know you guys can probably hear me thumping around on my keyboard, hitting the shortcuts and things like that. I promise I've taken steps to alleviate that, and hopefully in the next 2 or 3 videos, those will have arrived at my doorstep, and I'll put them into action so we won't have to listen to any more of that irritating noise. But in the meantime, actually, I am going to use this oil map again to take a look where I want to lay this road. You don't have to, when you're placing down your drilling station, you don't have to actually go right on top of the oil if you don't want. It does come with 2 pumps, but you can also just extend the service road from the pumps to go anywhere you want, and it's equally as efficient. I believe you can even delete the pumps that are going to be the starter pumps with the pump, the drilling station. So we'll go over that as we get into it. But in the meantime, I am going to go fairly close to the oil, or almost right on top of it, because I want to go through here, but I'm going to bridge over this because I don't want to interfere with this. As we know, that can bottleneck something fierce. So we're going to start about here. Doesn't matter a whole lot. I'm actually not even going to measure this time around, which is probably a first. You're thinking I've lost my mind, which is, it may just be true. That's for sure. I will actually measure from here. So I've got, actually I don't have to do that. Let's just pull this straight out. That worked out pretty well. And that was our 170 or 171. I'm going to measure an equal amount on this side because I want the gap of the bridge to be the same distance. Now I am getting back to being anal retentive. But that's alright. So let's get in here, and 171 and pull this out. Down about there is fine. We're wasting a little cash, but I don't mind so much. So we're going to go in here, and we are going to raise this up until we see that we have a bridge, and it's too close. Oh, that stinks. Well, I guess I should have planned that out a little bit better. You know what? Let's take a look and see. It may be because it's over this intersection here. I'm not sure. Let's try something. Let's find out. Let's see if that is in fact the issue. Let's delete here, and let's upgrade this to a high density. It moves that intersection further up. So, and then we can reconnect this. And we'll go back here, and we'll see if in fact that does anything at all. And it doesn't. That's just not going to work. It's just too close, unfortunately. So what am I going to do? Well, I have an idea. I don't know how good it is, but I have an idea. We'll just go ahead and knock that back and knock that back. And I'm going to want to take this back as well. Let's see, how far do I want to take it back? Well, we're going to have to do it this way, I think. We'll go and measure a little bit more here. And I can take this out and this out. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Brain's not working as well tonight as I would like. It's been a long day, so we're going to delete that. Then we can get rid of this and this. And boy, I'm really taking a long way around, aren't I? That's alright. Some days you have those days. So we'll get rid of this, and then one back, move this up. Hey, look at that. We finally, I think, made it. Now, of course, we have to see, is this long enough, in fact, to put a bridge over it? Success. All of that, and now we have a nice wooden bridge with red railings. I actually like the way those look. I think those are kind of neat. So, now we can actually still use this. This is going to be handy because we can use this. And you know what? Let's go ahead and jump in and play the game. Let's move it on to cheetah speed. We can zone this industrial and start making not only some more money, but that's going to help us with our unlock so we can get our pumping station over here so we can get that oil out of the ground, because that is going to help us make money. That's our goal here. And this isn't connected yet. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Soon I will. But for right now, we're going to live with that just the way it is. And I'm going to go up here. It looks like in our RCI, they're asking for not much. It's going down, but they are asking for a little bit of commercial. So I'm going to go over here, and I am going to see about putting in maybe a little more commercial over on this side so they're closer to walking. Now they won't have to go too far to get to their commercial in this little temporary situation. So the police have popped up, and they have a little quest for us, or a mini game or whatnot, so let's see what they have to say. Ah, Dr. Vu. Now, I'm actually not going to get into Maxis Man and Dr. Vu in this particular series. I may at a later series. It's not super involved, but it is something that can take a little bit of time. But what he's asking for is to plot Maxis Manor. Not only does that cost a lot of money, it's also a drain on our hourly fees. Maxis Man is not cheap. He's a billionaire playboy, and unfortunately he's sucking tax dollars to do it. So we're actually going to leave Maxis Man alone, and I'm simply going to say no thanks. But we may do that maybe in this series. I'm not sure, but definitely not in this town. So for now we're going to get rid of Maxis Man, and we're going to see how we're doing over here. Now we've got some buildings up. Let's take a look and see. 6 so far. I need one more building. Isn't that always the way? And I'm betting it'll fit right there, and for some reason it's not. Let's take a look and see why that might be. You know what? I bet you if I do that. I don't like to zone along the end roads. No, I don't think that's the issue. I really don't. But you know what? Let's instead zone this area. And that'll certainly give us the industrial buildings that we need, so we can go ahead and plop down our oil pumping station or drilling station. And now we have the coal mine. And we do have the drilling. 37.5, and this is just to show you how big it is. So like I said, it comes with 2 pump jacks attached to it, which we can certainly use. And I think I might have it point up this way, and we can run our road up here and then down and around in here as well. We've got plenty of space, and we'll be able to suck up a lot of oil, and we can start exporting that, but we can also put down eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, we can put down our oil power plant so we can start pumping more power to the city with less space, because this isn't going to last us forever. Matter of fact, let's check. We're still very good on all 3, no problem. But it will be an issue as we upgrade. So, speaking of which, I think we are going to start putting in just some more residents so we can start getting our money up a little bit. Let's go up here. And usually T intersections are very bad, but because I'm going to redesign this, I'm not going to panic. We're just going to go ahead and plop in some people so we can make some money. And they are starting to want things. You know what we're going to need to, and I know we discussed this, sorry, I told you we were going to talk about this last episode. We need to work on our education system. Unfortunately, that is a drain to our hourly income. However, if we don't put it down, problems are only going to get worse, because what will happen is uneducated Sims will injure themselves. It's unbelievable. They light themselves on fire, they fall downstairs, we need fire departments, we need clinics, and the problem just gets worse and worse. So, to head that off at the pass, we're going to put down an elementary school. And these are very inefficient monetarily, but that is a topic for another time. I'm just going to go ahead and put it right down here for now. This is also a temporary location, but I want to have it so if I need to expand, just in case we can. Now, bus stops. We're going to put down some bus stops so all the Sims can go to school. Here's a trick for you. A temptation may be to put them on both sides of the street. If you stick to one side of the street and one side of the street only, It is much more efficient and quick for the buses to go and pick up the Sims because they only have to stop on one side of the street rather than going all the way down and all the way back. So that's what we're going to do. And of course the green area indicates where we get service, so we don't need it anywhere near here. Right about there we do. And so I'm just going to do this right along until we get service to all the Sims so we can get all of our kids to school. And they'll have to cross the street to get to these, and that's fine. It didn't hurt me when I was growing up. I think they'll be okay. It's worth the education. That's the lie I'm going to go with. So here, and that is plenty. And that'll get all of our Sims to school, and they will start getting educated so they won't hurt themselves. So now this is an Omega Co. And as I discussed in this first series, we are actually not going to do Omega Co. either. I promise we will take some of the mini missions that come up so you can see what they do, I swear. However, for now we're going to get rid of Omega because I don't want to do Omega. I don't want to do any futurization. In this series, I want to do almost a back to basics, just smooth, nice looking, old-fashioned kind of a city. Especially because this one is a little more industrial. And then in the region when we do our college town in the city next door, that should be fun too. So we're going to stay away from futurization. But we're building up money nicely, and it looks like we now have enough money to go ahead and put down our oil well. I'm going to drag this out just to see how I want to connect this. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get in here, and let's grab our oil well and figure out where we want to put it. I'm going to put it just so the pump jacks are just in the black here. So once they start right away, they can make something happen. We might have a little wasted space back here. I might do something with that later. I'm not going to panic because it is in the industrial area. So I'm not too worried about that yet. So let's go ahead and put that down. And now it's going to be hiring. And they're going to come on in and they're going to start working here and they're going to start pumping oil. Which means we need to have a way to connect this so they can get to there. And I'm going to pause that real fast to do that. But also we need a way to sell the oil, which means we're going to need a trade depot. Which are only 10 grand, so we can actually put one of those down soon. We won't do that until this opens up. There's no point in spending the money and wasting the money yet until we actually start collecting oil and have a need to export it. So maybe we can... You know, I think I would like to take this road up here. And the reason being is I would really like to be able to get in on this side with some good roads. But this doesn't interfere with our bottleneck situation here. So let's go ahead and let's grab this and let's drag this straight up here for a little bit. And we've got a plane frozen right in my view. That's okay. And let's see if we can't wrap this up here kind of nice. Oh, that terraforming just drives me wild sometimes. I can't stand it. That's not too bad. Let's do that. And we will bring this straight up here. I like to a lot, and I learned this from Zat, who is another guy who has a SimCity channel that is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and go subscribe right away. But I love to trim and round. I believe that's the term he uses. Trim these corners. I just love to have round, smooth corners. And that's going to work for us. And this goes up here. And I think I'm going to do a slightly organic deal just like that. You know what? That works for me. Sometimes I like to have wavy roads. It's a weird dichotomy I have. Sometimes I want to have an absolute perfect grid system because I'm out of my skull with proper measurements. And sometimes I like to have roads that just curve a little bit because they're a little organic and that's how the real world is. Who knows? That's my play style. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it does something for you because that's why I'm making these videos. I hope they get some comments on what you'd like to see. And again, we have some really ugly bumps in this road and I have no idea how I'm going to fix those yet. I'll worry about that later on. But right now, let's hope that this is going to start pumping oil real soon. So far, we don't have anybody coming in, but that's all right. Oh, here they come now. They're coming into work. Look at that. Rush hour. That's why. So it's hiring. Hopefully that'll bring in soon. Now, we've got an education problem, and we already have a health problem, which means we've got 5 deaths a day, and that is not going to get any better. So you know what? Let's go ahead and plop a clinic right away, too, because if we don't, that's going to compound as well. So let's put that over here. Not enough simoleons. What do we need? 20,000. That won't be long, so we'll wait on this. Let's see what the education problem is. Classrooms are already full. 150 out of 150. Can I afford to add? Oh, it's going to unfortunately detract from how fast we get a clinic, but I think we're going to go ahead and do it because that's going to upgrade how many students. We can have 350, we have 382. That's going to do for now. You know, I should probably add a bus, but I'm not going to. We're going to see if we can hold out. I've got the game running. You can hear Henry trying to eat things in the background. And this is for the Academy. Obviously, we're going to get a lot of pop-ups for the newest expansion, which I do have, and it's great. I just don't want to use it in this series. I know that sounds strange, but so we're going to say no thank you to her as well. What do you have going on here at City Hall, Town Hall so far? Absolutely nothing. As soon as we get to 5,000 residents, we're going to get an upgrade, make it a City Hall, and we can start putting in some additions that are going to help our build and make it a lot easier. Pump jacks are pumping, and they look really good too. Excellent. So, let's see what we have for storage. We're pumping 350 barrels a day. We've got a 2,000 barrel capacity, so we're fine for right now. We don't have to worry about the trade depot just yet, but we want to do it soon so we can start upping how much we're making. That is going to be it for now. I think what I'm going to do is let the game run for just a minute because I don't want to spend any more money until I plop down a clinic. I know it seems silly, and we only need, well, actually I don't even need to leave the game run. It's going to be another in-game hour and we're good to go. But having deaths, now we see we're up to 10 deaths a day. That's problematic. Trash is going to be an issue soon. Fire, we're good. We're very lucky. And what do we have? 0 crimes as well. Believe it or not, education helps with all those things. Uneducated Sims are more apt to be criminals, so we're going to make sure that we have as much room in here as we possibly can. And we've got kids walking to school and going to school, and that's what I like to see. Even though this is temporary, I still like to know that it's progressing well, because it's practice. And practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. I think my Little League coach taught me that. So anyway, just practice building roads, practice putting in people, getting the idea of how things work. That's what we're after here because this is the starter series. That's what we want. And if we look at our education map, yep, we're doing well. We're doing well. We don't have as many people enrolled as we would like, but that is a topic for another time as we put in permanent schools and then we learn which schools are best and why. So, we have a little bit of need, it seems, for some of the commercial. So we're going to put that down because more money. And I don't want to flood it, so I'm just going to put in a little bit and see what happens. And we're doing well here. No pun intended. Yep. Alright, we're going to be running out of capacity before too long. Here we go. We have a fire. So, save my property. Build a fire station already, would you? I will. Finally, something that we can do. Now, of course, there's no reward for this at all. That's quite alright. But before I even plop the fire station, I still want to put down the clinic. So, we're going to do that first. And we're going to take the clinic. And they've been wanting medium wealth. This will actually help turn this into a medium wealth area, which is fine. So there's our clinic, and our fire station is going to be 20,000. So again, it won't take too long. So we're going to stay with this episode until at least, boy, they are lighting themselves on fire, something fierce. Is it July? No, it's only March, but I thought maybe fireworks. Not so much the case. Look at this. That's blazing away. That's no good. Look at these guys. Grab some water, will you? Throw it on the... No? Okay. Well, that happens too. These guys... And where did you go? Okay. Well, they wanted us to put down a church. Apparently, they've changed their mind. They were interested in church. Now they're not. Now they're interested in sleeping in their camper home. That's fine. That'll come up again, too. And we will put down, well, house of worship. I usually put down a church. Just because I guess I'm old-fashioned that way. We may look into a modern temple. We'll see. Maybe we'll try to change it up a little bit or something. So, we have a capacity already. But before we add on to that, I am going to put down my fire station because clearly is an issue. Because our guys can't stop lighting themselves on fire. And I'm going to drop that down here. And a quick add-on that you should probably do every time, if you can, is the bell. The fire alarm, you can put it on top of here, or an additional garage. If you put that down, it can go on top of that as well. What that does is it tells you right here, it just speeds up the response time, so they can get there much quicker. So now I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go bulldoze, because I know I have rubble. And we're going to use a shortcut. Click on this little icon. It'll take us right to the area. And we'll get rid of those. I don't like rubble in my cities at all, if I can avoid it. It lowers land value, number one, so if you have rubble in a more affluent area, it'll cause problems. It'll lower land value, it'll upset your Sims, they'll be unhappy, so keep that in mind. But also it's just ugly, so that's why I like to get rid of it. But we're doing well here, and I think the next thing we're going to need is indeed a trade depot, which is 10,000. It's not going to take long. What I'm going to do is just let this game run for a minute, and then I'm going to go ahead and plop the trade depot, and that's going to do it for this episode. And then we will go ahead and call it for the night, and we'll come back for episode 3, where we start to hopefully make some more permanent changes to the land and the landscape, and making things happen and putting designs that are going to be more long-lasting. So we'll be back in a minute to place the trade depot. Alright, here we go. So if we go to our trade tab, and here's our trade depot, and I am going to, for now, I'd rather not move this because, well, number one, it's expensive, and number two, so let's go in here, and we're actually going to look at our oil map again, because I want to make sure that I'm not putting it on valuable oil land, because this is our money right here. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide that over here, and I'm going to get as close to this hill as I can without that red circle, or that red square. I know my shapes and colors, because what that'll do is eliminate a potential expansion, and we may want that, so I'm just going to come off one click at a time until we find out, and it looks like this one right here. So let's put that down. Excellent. The next thing we want to do is go into the edit mode, and I lied. Just click on the building, and we're going to go to manage global market deliveries, and we must have a storage lot. Well, see, and I knew that, of course, but I'd forgotten, so that's good. We're going through this together. We do need it comes with, now we do need to go into the edit, because it comes with a freight shipping warehouse, which we don't need, so we can go ahead and bulldoze that. It's not going to hurt anything. What we want, of course, is crude oil storage, and we actually have enough money, so I'm going to put down 2 of these, and I have this great mod that I will tell you about soon in another video that lets you plop these down without having to go back and continually select these. So I put down 2 of those, and what's going to happen now are the oil from here is going to go over here, and then from here it's going to be sold on the global market. So we're going to do that right now. So now we can go into manage global deliveries, and we want to export our oil. We're going to be selling it for 10,629 per 1,000 barrels. So that sounds good. So that's going to do for it today. There they are, going back and forth, sucking up the oil over here, bringing it over here. Then in turn they're going to go back, and they're going to actually have to go all the way around to get onto this highway, or this main avenue, to get onto the highway. I have a fix for that, but I'm going to save that for next episode. It's a very easy fix, and actually will probably end up in a quick tip as well. But for now, do me a favor, go down there and leave a comment in the appropriate section. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would like to see. Let me know what I've done right, and certainly let me know what I've done wrong. Hit the like button if you don't mind, and certainly subscribe. And we'll see you next time for another episode of SimCity Starter.